Hello, everybody, and welcome to video 89 of Putting Out the Trash. Okay, so, a couple of items to talk about today. Not a lot, though, but, I'll explain them as we go along. And, they're so dirty. There are so many flies out here. I swear that whatever jobs flies do for the environment, they cannot be that important. I swear to all of you that fact. Well, I could probably just put it over here and there's barely any room here. This car probably has room to back up though, so I probably could just put it here. Yeah. Yeah, they can back their car up when they want to move it. Yeah. But, speaking of cars, that might be one of the top picks to talk about. So yeah. Yeah. Still have nothing to do. As you guys probably know, I am taking a gap year. So basically, no education. No education until, a year has passed since graduation. So yeah. Mom said she wanted to do the surgeries during this break. But I think that plan had kind of gone out the window because the surgeon said something oh, maybe we don't have scheduled or all that. Okay. But yeah. So I don't even really know what's happening with the surgery, but guess what? My mom has taken me to a new dental place. And if you want to know why, I will tell you about it right now. So for a while, every time I needed my teeth cleaned or anything like that, we went to a children's dental place. Basically, a place for little kids to get their teeth brushed. And, remove teeth. I think I actually had my teeth removed there, too. I had a tooth removal surgery. And let me tell you, that sucked. It did suck. Because when they pull out a tooth, they didn't even really they did needle me to make the feeling hurt, yes. But I had to be awake the whole time, They gave me a little stress toy, and I sleeved that thing so hard. But yeah, it was pretty bad. I was constantly waiting for them to keep twisting and twisting. Apparently, they didn't have a very good grip on the tooth, so they kept having to adjust how they held it. But I do still have the tooth, I think. They put it in a little container shaped the tooth, and then they gave it to me. So yeah. But don't worry, guys. That did not happen recently. That happened a long time ago. So yeah. But oh yeah, I was talking about the change. Basically, I've been going to a children's dental place. But now that I'm 18, my mom had decided to bring me over to where her dentist is. So yeah. And it was not a very good first experience. And yeah. I mean, I thought it started out well. But I wanted to kind of talk about like the dental assistant or whatever he was. Basically, he was the person who like told my name, and he was responsible for taking the X-rays of my teeth. And like the first thing I kind of didn't like about him was that he told me, "Hey, you can play on your phone while I prepare." And I know what you're thinking. Oh, that doesn't sound too bad. He just, he needs time to get his equipment ready. And I do get that. My issue wasn't that. It was like the way he said it. Or like the words he used. He didn't say you can go on your phone. He said you can play on your phone. And maybe if I was actually playing a game, like Candy Crush or whatever, I would be okay with it. But I wasn't. I was reading something. So he would just say, "Oh, you can play on your phone." And I don't know why he said that. Play has a very different connotation than go on your phone. Or you can use your phone right now. They have different feels, and I don't know. And then not only that, that isn't even really the first time he said it. He said it a few times during the appointment. Whenever he had to do something that wasn't directly interacting with me. Yeah. But he did try to take the X-rays, and he pulled out this thing. He pulled out this is gonna sound very confusing if you've never actually had your X-ray taken at a dentist office. But basically, they put this thing in your mouth, and they actually do put it pretty deep inside your mouth. And at the end of that thing is some sort of piece of paper or some sort of pad. I never really asked how it works, but the way I think it works is that they have an X-ray done, and they shoot the X-ray done at your teeth, and something in the piece of paper or pad or whatever it is interacts with the X-ray and basically helps it get a picture of the inside of your teeth. I'm sorry if that didn't make any sense. I don't know all the technical names, and I'm really just telling you how I think it works. But anyway, he tries to put this really weird shape in my mouth, and of course, I have a hard time getting it in there because, well, it's a very awkward shape. It was almost that wood thing? The one with the glue where you put a piece of wood in between the two things and you can adjust how tight on the wood it is. I would say it was almost that shape. Maybe a bit different, but it was almost that shape. Obviously a lot tinier, but that's kind of what it looked like to me. And it had the pad on it, and he tried to put it in, and it was difficult, but it always is. And he said, "Oh no, we don't want you to choke." The way he said this one wasn't condescending, but it was the first time we met, so I get it. But yeah, he probably wanted to gauge what my limits were, and I'm okay with it being uncomfortable. I'm okay with it being uncomfortable for an X-ray. It's a couple seconds. So yeah. but yeah, it was the shape of it that was off. So yeah, he tried to use a different one, and we did this a couple times. I don't know exactly what the issue was. Apparently, the X-rays just didn't come out well. Eventually, he had to get somebody else involved. It was another female member of the staff, and they must have known each other pretty well because they seemed friendly. Right, yeah. I can't really describe their dynamic because I didn't do enough of it, but yeah. What else is there to this? Basically, she helped him by now remember the X-ray gun I'm talking about? At my old dentist place, it was handheld. It was a handheld gun. So you could easily keep the thing in the patient's mouth and also hold the gun in your other hand. But in this dentist office, it was mounted on it was mounted up. You know that big thing in dentist office where they can move it around a lot. It was like that, and I think the button to activate the X-ray gun was on the wall. So basically, if you had to do it with one person, you would basically have to put it in their mouth, and then you would have to hit the button, which would be on the wall. Which, if you have to hold it in the patient's mouth, that doesn't really work. And I guess that's why it was handy to have two people. They wanted me to bite down on it, the item. And I tried to do that, but it was such an awkward shape that it was actually really difficult to bite down on it in any way. But yeah. But anyway, the two of them were talking, basically acting like I wasn't there. They were bantering. I think that's a good word to use for it. The man was basically saying, "Oh, you're late." Whatever her name was. I'm gonna call her Betty because I never learned her real name, but I don't know, Betty. I need a name for the video, so yeah. Basically, oh, you're late, Betty. I wish we met when we were younger. Because, I don't know. They probably met at work, but the man wished that they met earlier. High school age. I do not think that there was a big age difference between them. I think they probably just, were living in two different areas. Maybe the guy was lonely when he was in high school, and this work friend was somebody he actually really would have liked to know back then. I don't know. These are just my analyses of them. But yeah, and then she said something to the effect of "Oh, you would not have liked me back then." Oh, really? What was that And then "Oh, really? You don't want an old picture of you to come out?" Basically, stuff like that. I didn't mind it, honestly. It was a background noise while they worked. It would be better than nothing, is what I'm trying to say. But, yeah. The X-rays didn't go so well. And then the man, he he pulled out the tools. You know what tools I'm talking about, right? Like the little hooks where they sedate your teeth a bit. I never really knew the point of those. Like he really did. Like I think he was pulling on the braces a bit, probably trying to see how tight they were. And then he did the little water and air hoses, kinda. He didn't really clean it well. Uh, he said that was because of the wire. Because they have braces that have wires on them, I guess it would be pretty hard to get under the wire to do it, you know? But of course, my old dentist never had that issue, so I don't know, maybe that's a still issue. I don't know. But yeah, that's what happened with that. And then the real dentist came out. Because if you don't know, usually you have the dentist who brings you in, and then the real one who does all of the real work. Basically, a nurse and a doctor, kinda. I don't know the names for any of these, by the way. I'm not a dentist person. Yeah. Sorry. But yeah. So basically, that guy came in. He basically told me that, okay, Matthew, during the net visit here, you should, before you come here, you should go to your orthodontist or your braces guy, and you should basically, tell him to remove the wire. Then come here to get your teeth cleaned, and then go back to, get the wire back on. And I was what? That's a really complicated thing. Can we even do that? How would that work? Because I don't know about you, but the way I saw it is that the braces guy has appointments, right? Yeah, he probably has a lot of appointments. Or maybe he doesn't. I don't know. My mom said he was a pretty well-known guy in his field, so I assumed that he would be at least busy and that he wouldn't just be able to do appointments right before the game. I thought, I don't know, it would be pretty hard to coordinate the two things to happen at the same time, one before and one after. I mean, probably not the same day. Maybe he meant 2 or 3 days before coming here, go to that guy. So I guess that's probably more what he meant, but I don't know. But yeah. But anyway, I don't really think they did a good job with the cleaning. But after a few minutes, I left because apparently they can't do a very good cleaning with the wire there. Now, my old dentist, the children's dentist, they didn't have that problem. So I don't know. My mom said maybe the children's dentist, they didn't do a very good job, but I don't know. They seem to know what they were doing, But yeah. But then I asked to use the bathroom, and when I came back out to the main office where my mom was waiting, she was hey, Matthew, according to the dentist, you moved around a lot when he was doing his work. And I was I guess maybe a little, because I'm not keeping track of how much my head is moving. I did tell you that I wasn't moving it intentionally. Oh, the guy did. Okay, I think I missed this part, but let me tell you now. He had this little, the little spinny thing. You know the old spinny thing that they put in your mouth, like, like that? He did use that on me, and he put it in my mouth. He used it, and then he said, "Oh, this shouldn't be hurting. This shouldn't be anything." Because apparently, maybe I was moving a lot, or she saw something. I can tell you that it didn't really hurt me, so maybe he was just overreacting to my body language. I don't know, but apparently, uh, he thought I was sensitive or something. I don't know, but my mom basically told me that he said to her that I think this guy should go back to the children's dentist, and I totally assume that because of everything I just talked about. I don't know what he's saying, but to be honest, he was kind of a shitty dentist. I didn't really like him. Yeah, I think maybe the children's dentists were nicer, and they were actually better than him, and I kind of hope he gets fired for saying that. Yeah, even my mom said that he had a vibe about him. Now I'm not into all that vibe stuff, but you know what? After everything, I kind of felt it, and maybe this is just me hating on change, which I do because it's valid. But yeah, you know what? He did seem to shock though. But I do hate change, so maybe my opinion is biased. But I can tell you that it didn't feel like it went well after I was done. So yeah. I actually had a couple other stuff I wanted to talk about in the video, but it seemed like that took up most of our time. I would then say something about cars, but I guess that is gonna have to wait until next time. Maybe I'll have one by next time. Probably not though. That probably isn't gonna happen within a week after posting this video. You know? Okay. Oh thank God it's open. But yeah. Okay. That is gonna do it for this video, and I hope to see you guys next time. Bye!